just something I always like to do in between if we've been sitting for a while and kind of have some fun. In the next 5 minutes, so they tell me, but I have the taser and the weapon, so the guy in the back with the red sign should just leave now. I want to talk about our CIT program here at the University of Akron. Our CIT program came about in about the year of 2000 when CIT first came to Summit County. We had 3 officers assigned to that first training with the city of Akron, with Lieutenant Mike Woody then, since retired. Dr. Muniz, Dr. Freese was all there. And we started our program then. And it was kind of small because we're like, the other officers that went had all these skills that we weren't sure where they'd come from, because they weren't that way before. And so since then, we've been training our officers in CIT every class. We have about 39 officers assigned to our police department here at the University of Akron, and we are law enforcement. And to date, we have 98% of them trained. We only have 3 officers that have not been trained. They will be trained in the fall. And so that's great expectations. Our chief is really behind us in this adventure with our CIT program. And what CIT gives your officers on your campus community is a skill that they use more so than the firearm on their side, the taser, or anything else that we talk about when we think about firearms. Communication is very, very important in law enforcement, as we know in our fields all the way around. And how do we communicate with people in our customer service-based orientation, because isn't that what we have when we have our campus community? It's customer-based. So we needed to find something, how can we interact with our customers to better serve them and interact with an intervention when they're in the middle of a crisis or about to having a crisis. Because in the campus community, we're unique. We just don't deal with students all the time in campus law enforcement. We deal with the community issues as well. So that's why we have a great working relationship with the city of Akron also. But we deal with both aspects of that definition. So we have to know, how do we interact with the community members, the community patrons that need crisis intervention and that help that's needed. So this training works very, very well to know what resources do we have available to us for those community members, but also what do we have for our students that we can outsource sometimes that our counseling center is a little overwhelmed and can't handle it at the point in time. So it works very, very well. With our adaptation of our CIT division, we've done very well with our Counseling, Test, and Career Center. We've been in contact with Juanita Martin, Dr. Martin, and now when we have a student crisis and we understand that, they understand what training we've had, what background we have, how to recognize it, as Natalie said, how to diagnose it a little bit. We can call them up and say, hey, I have somebody that needs to be seen now. Because they might have called themselves and said, well, we're busy, we'll see you in a week, but now I can call and say, they need to see you now. And they will accommodate that very, very quickly. And that makes it better for us because now we have that tie with the counseling center or these people, and now the students have someone they can look up to. I kind of make fun of our green button, so don't yell at me, Dr. Muniz, all right? Because I tell people around our campus community, if you have a crisis or something going on, look for somebody with a green button. Call the green button people, all right? Because we'll assist you with anything that you do need. And it does work very, very well. Our unit's also done a lot of programming with choices. We haven't done it lately as much as we used to, but we've had a lot of programming to where we're bringing consumers on campus to see what is here, what's allowed, what is the faces of all these CIT members, and how can they interact when we do interact with them. And we do get a lot of calls from people, both student-wise and community patron-wise, calling us saying, Sergeant Cunningham, Sergeant Chaz, what usually most people call me is, I need help, what do you think? All right, one quick war story, cops love war stories. We just love war stories. We have one person that's a student here, and I'll just say it, I've been trying to get laid off for a long time, but it's not working. He's just a typical pain in the butt. I call him PIB for short. We all have those within our university, all right? He doesn't like us, he doesn't like the administration, doesn't like anything that goes on. But what do we do with somebody like that? He's still one of our consumers. He's one of our customers. So I treat him with kindness. And many a times when nobody else will do something with them, I was doing a bookmarking, our Operation ID of the Student Union, and out of the blue I'm talking to one person about a crime going on. They had some questions, and they said, I think this person needs to talk to you. And I look next to me, and here's that subject. He really doesn't like the police, doesn't want to do anything, but he's in tears. So I'm like, well, hold on a minute. She goes, no, I'm good, bye. Right? I'm like, all right, what's going on? What do you need? Off his meds, not feeling right, has issues, don't know who to turn to. That moment right there was a time where I knew that's why I'm CIT. because nobody else was there to help him, nowhere else to move, and he came to me. And I'm not that nice. I'm big, I'm ugly, right? But he came to me, we got him the help needed, and now we have one more stroke in our cap, if you want to, or anything like that, that he knows that he can come to the University of Akron Police Department and get the help that he needs when there's nowhere help left. So folks, if you do not have CIT on your, put that down. If you do not have CIT on your campus, I suggest you go to your administrators, you go to your chief of police, and you tell them, CIT is needed for your law enforcement officers. Now I've had guys that's been seasoned that says CIT is nothing but touchy-feely, go lucky, we don't need it, we're cops. And they come back from the training saying, yeah, I was wrong. That is something that we need throughout the state. So on behalf of myself, the University of Akron Police Department, thank you for having me here. See, I'm in my time, so you're lucky. And if you have questions, we'll be around, but thank you very much. If you don't have CIT, get it, please. It's very, very helpful. Thanks.